Welcome to another special edition of MindShareTV. I'm your host, Robert Merdlacci, founder and publisher of MindShare Learning Media and chair of the upcoming Canadian EdTech AI Summit taking place October 29th to 30th at the University of Toronto, Mississauga, home of Dr. Hinton, the grandfather of AI. Serendipity, perhaps? I'm thrilled to welcome a dynamic leader and valued summit partner. Nathalie Rudner is the executive director of STAO, the Science Teachers Association of Ontario. STAO plays a critical role in advancing STEM education, professional learning, and curriculum leadership across Ontario. And we're honored to have them co-hosting a session on STEM AI esports at the summit. Today, we'll be exploring STAO's evolution as a mission, how they're supporting educators in the age of AI, and get a preview of the upcoming STAO 2025 conference. Nathalie, welcome to MindShareTV. It's a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you, Robert. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, and I have to say, one of the previous STAOs in Toronto, one of the last big events you had, I met the astronaut that's going to space in, I think it's this coming February, if I'm not mistaken. Which was very cool.
Yeah.
And I have to say, that was 5 years ago. So that's how long it takes when you're in the program to get in line and make it happen. But, and his name will come back to me. I just saw him on the news the other night. So I thought that was incredibly cool. So for those who are not familiar with STAO mission, how it continues to evolve to support STEM and science educators today, rapidly changing environments. And kudos to you for taking on the role as executive director. How many years for you now?
Well, this is my second year in the role of executive director, so really excited. But it's my 26th, I think, year in science education. So I've been in the education business for a long time as a high school science teacher, and then as a curriculum consultant and doing some curriculum development. So really excited to be here. And I'm at risk of dating us. The last conference that we had, Robert, full 2-day conference, was in 2018. So our 2021, unfortunately, was, COVID decided that we weren't going to have a conference that year. So we haven't had a full 2-day conference since then. So this is our return to a big conference. But STAO has always prided itself as being sort of a leader in STEM and science education across the province of Ontario. One of the things that we really take to heart and as part of our mission is to ensure that all teachers are empowered to provide quality science and now STEM education to their students. As an organization, we've been around since 1890, so we're 135 years old this year.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Do you have any artifacts dating back that far?
That'd be cool. I don't think we have any going quite back that far, but we do have some old articles and things like that if we get some time, we'll maybe pull out and share with our members over this year. But one of the things that we do is we advocate for quality education at the ministry, at the provincial level, but also with school boards and with teachers to let them know what resources are available. One of the things that we like to do and that we really pride ourselves in is being able to help connect educators across Ontario with quality resources, supports, and things that they can use to deliver an excellent science program to their students.
Brilliant. So the theme of our summit is human-centered sustainable learning in an AI-inspired world. How has STAO helped teachers make sense of AI in science education and equipping them with the tools and strategies to use ethically and effectively?
Well, that's a question that we're asking ourselves every day, because we have, a lot of our members and teachers are coming to us saying, well, what do I do? How do we use AI? How can we use AI in science? So STAO has we've been trying to figure out where the needs lie for our teachers. And what we're finding is that really teachers just want to know what tools are out there. They want to know how they can use them. They want to build their own skill set in using AI, because it's obviously a tool that none of us have had training in. And so what we're finding is that teachers want to help themselves so that they can help their students acquire the skills that they're going to need to be successful in the future. So we've done we've had a number of workshops We're running a collaborative conference with a number of other subject associations, so 10 different other subject associations, looking at AI in education in Ontario, but really from the teacher's lens and perspective around what can you do in your classroom tomorrow? How can you, implement AI in your classroom in a safe way, considering the ethics? And so that's, starting the conversation, and that's been really exciting. It's our second year of doing that, and really exciting there. And then we also, in our conference in PD, try to have, topics that are obviously relevant to AI in education. And this year, we have Dan Riskin, biologist,
Cool.
TV
Yes.
personality coming. And his keynote talk on the Friday is actually on AI and curiosity and the valuable role that science teachers need to play in the use of AI, that curiosity can't go away, that teachers, this is an opportunity for teachers to lead in their classrooms by demonstrating how AI can be used as a tool to empower students and to build meaningful learning and meaningful connections with students. So really, really excited about the opportunities that we're bringing our teachers.
Fantastic. So, and we're honored to have STAO as a partner. We're excited to host you. And we have our STEM AI esports showcase that's happening on the Thursday. It's very interactive. We've got everyone from esports to First Robotics to Logix Academy showcasing their wares, as well as Let's Talk Science. What do you enjoy when you come to experiencing, when you come to our summit? We're talking about the ecosystem and representing off as we prepared for the talk. How important is it to have diversity in your delegation when it comes to conferences?
It's extremely important. I think when we came to the summit last year, it was our first year, and our first year coming to the summit and experiencing the AI summit, and the conversations, the panels, and what struck me is the ability to network and speak with the experts in the field, the people that are leading in innovation in sort of, especially in the AI world. And that for us was really, really helpful because, it's very easy to become very siloed. So an event like the EdTech Summit brings, a wide range of people, not only from Ontario, but from across the country. And, last year we had the opportunity to talk to people from BC, to talk to people from the East Coast, as well as leaders in Ontario and other jurisdictions. And so for us as, science teachers, it was a very eye-opening experience to be able to find out what's happening, what the priorities are in different regions, how we can better support teachers with the initiatives and the questions that they have around AI and science and STEM and all of those pieces. But it's also an opportunity for us to be able to look at how we can grow as an organization to better serve our membership. So, made a number of very, very important connections last year at the summit, and we continue to build on them and grow. And we wouldn't have been able to do that without opportunities like this. So an opportunity like the EdTech Summit really brings everybody together. We get to do some learning, we get to do a lot of networking, and I think it just gets everybody excited about what the potential is for the future and what we can do as educators to make school system, schools, and the education system a better place for our students.
Well said. Love it. You are such a positive force behind STAO, and growth mindset is so vital when it comes to innovation. And speaking of which, can you give us a sneak peek into STAO's upcoming 2025 conference when it comes to what's happening, themes, programming, and what educators can look forward to?
Yeah, so we're really excited about our program this year. We have 6 strands that we're really focusing on. Some that are really, really key and important in science education. One of them is centering Indigenous knowledge in STEM learning. So talking about, how can we bring in the Indigenous ways of knowing and Indigenous learning and knowledge into our curriculum in a meaningful way, in a respectful way. So we have a couple of presentations that sort of connect, but also featuring Indigenous speakers. So we have Nimki Browd Howie, who's going to be talking about Indigenous education in in just how do we center our work around Indigenous education, but also coming and talking about how we can get Indigenous education into the grade 9 science curriculum. We also have, very excited, we have Laurie Rousseau-Nepton, who's a astronomer with the University of Toronto. She's a PhD in astrophysics, but she's Innu, and she's going to be talking about her cultural influences and her influence in terms of observing the night sky and how she's been influenced by her, her background and her upbringing. So we're really excited to have her featured on our Friday. And we have, as I mentioned, we already have Dan Riskin coming. He's speaking on Friday about AI and curiosity and the role that teachers need to play in that. We have a Geneviève Allaire-Duquette who's coming to talk about the science of learning science. So how does the brain process the misconceptions, and how do we have to untrain our brain in terms of unlearning those misconceptions around things that we, erroneously think happen. So she's going to be a fantastic presentation also, and she's delivering a keynote in French for our French members. So we try to bring a bilingual program in. We try to bring
that's brilliant.
A diversity of people from all walks of, all sorts of experiences, backgrounds. And so, we've got the programming both on the Thursday, the Friday. We also have a Thursday evening program for teachers who can't get away during the school day, because we know release time has been a challenge in recent years.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a full sort of, half day program, sort of starting at 6 o'clock, kicking off with a keynote by Tyjust Andemichael on equity in science and building inclusive classrooms, and then a number of workshops. And then, of course, to top it all off, we have, what STAO has always been known for, it's exhibit hall. So we have over 70 partners, STEM partners and providers coming together in an exhibit hall, which, talking to them, it's going to be bustling. There's going to be lots of activities, lots of surprises, some really cool things that are going to be happening during the exhibit hall hours. And then, and an opportunity for people who, if they can't get away to the conference, will also be able to come out to that exhibit hall and experience that on the Thursday afternoon. And so there will be more details coming out a little closer to the date, but we don't want to give everything away. But there will be an opportunity for people who don't have a ticket to come and experience the exhibitors as well. So
Whoa.
lots of really cool things happening.
Jeremy Hansen, astronaut.
Yes, that was a few years ago, Robert. We won't talk about how many years.
That is the kind of experience, and it really, look at that. I've never forgotten that experience, and that's, if I can just give a shout out to education folks who are maybe sitting on the fence and going, experiencing the playground and the people you meet. It's just, you don't know who's going to be there, and there's always a surprise. And I was so honored to meet this aspiring astronaut at that time. He had no scheduled time to go to space, and now he is going to be orbiting the moon when it comes to in February, I believe they're blasting off. So, and I had the honor, I think I got a photo with them. How cool is that? I mean, that's what you nurture.
Absolutely. We've been very lucky with the astronauts. We had many years ago, we had Roberta Bondar speak. We also had Chris Hadfield speak. So we've been, over the years, STAO has, been very lucky that way. This year, not so much. We weren't able, they're busy in training. So they've got busy things, more important things than STAO, which is great. But we know that in the future, we look forward to, bringing in people that people want to hear and see, and realize that they're just real people, but with a passion for science and STEM, and who really want to connect with educators as well. So that's what's always really cool for me, is that these people come to our conference, but they don't come just as speakers. They come because they're invested in education and they want to make a difference for our students. So that's what's important.
Thank you for that. Whether it's new grads or veteran teachers, science educators face unique challenges. How is STAO supporting educators at every stage of their career?
Well, we offer, we begin with our pre-service teachers. So we offer a very reasonable pre-service membership. We reach out to the pre-service faculty, and we actually recognize pre-service teachers who stand out in their first year or their second year of the pre-service education with our Don Galbraith Awards for Excellence in Pre-Service Education. They're nominated by their professors at the faculties, and we actually will be hosting, that's one of the events that's going to be happening in our conferences. We will be giving out those awards at the Thursday evening keynote presentation to recognize the achievements of those pre-service students. We try to engage them in a variety of different ways. And then that continues into our first and second years. So we want try to plan events for first year or, people early in their career in teaching science. So we recognize that some might be experienced teachers, but it's their first time teaching science. So that's also a little bit nerve-wracking for some people. So an example, again, at the conference, we have a certificate program that we will recognize teachers in their first 2 years of teaching. They'll get a certificate. As long as they self-identify to us, we're happy to provide them with that so they can start to build their portfolios, their professional learning portfolios, so that they have that to support them as they go out in the world and seek, different positions or other positions in their teaching careers. And then, of course, our experienced teachers, we're always there with providing we try to develop lesson plans. We listen to, resources. We try to connect them with our STEM partners. Basically, whatever we can do to make their lives easier as teachers, that's something that we try to help out with.
Fascinating. STEM has really come of age, and so is STAO. When I think of my daughter is in cybersecurity now, the career pathway opportunities for kids today are phenomenal. How important is it for teachers to mentor kids and inspire them for the love of science? I mean, science touches everything we do. I remember I was going down to an event in New York, and we drove down and we stopped at the museum of, what was it? It was a science museum. It was fiberglass. Was it the fiberglass factory?
Oh,
In Rochester. You have to go. It's remarkable. So it was like they made glass for the space shuttle. They made fiberglass, insulation, but they made all kinds of glass. And it was a museum it was like a STEM museum. But it touches us on so many levels that, with the evolution of AI, career pathways in STEM are becoming that much more essential. But to really laser focus on what are some of the key career pathways. Teaching is one, right? But there's so many, whether it's engineering, robotics, right? STEM or cybersecurity, data engineering. Thoughts on the evolution of career pathways and how your organization can help nurture that?
Yeah, I think one of the things that's become really, really clear is that, most pathways nowadays are going to involve some sort of STEM skills, whether it's, AI skills, coding skills, whether it's, maybe not so much the hard science, but the skills that you need, the observation skills, the analysis skills, the being able to, present. Like, there's a lot more to STEM skills than just knowing the science or knowing the math or knowing the engineering. It's also being able to communicate. It's being able to collaborate. It's being able to think critically about problems. It's being able to bring in different disciplines into sort of an interdisciplinary approach to sort of solve problems that we haven't faced before, that have been there, but we need new solutions for, and that the old ways aren't working. So I think as a STEM teacher, I think the biggest thing we can do is just get kids excited, because it's not so much about access to information anymore. I mean, it used to be that your science teacher was the only person who knew how to explain a biology concept because, there was a textbook with it, but that was about it. It wasn't something that you could access on the internet if you were just curious. There was no way to get that information. Now students have access to so much information that the teacher really has to sort of help them navigate that information through that critical lens of, what do you need to know? What questions do you need to ask? Where do you want to go next? How can you apply it? And that's where I think STEM teachers and science teachers everywhere really need to focus to sort of, get students engaged, make them realize the importance of it. And I think nothing spoke louder to that than we were at the Skills Ontario competition in May, I think it was.
That's right. I saw you there.
Yeah. And we had, our booth set up, and we were asking the students what STEM skills will you use going into the future, and which careers or which trades will you use STEM skills? And I think at the end of the 2 days, if we were to look at the list of STEM skills that students listed, they were endless. And then if you looked at the careers or the trades that required STEM, we had everything from hairstyling to construction to electrical to
Yeah.
plumbing to elevator, technicians, like you name it, it was on that list. And I think that, it's eye-opening to see the wide range of trades and skill and careers that students need STEM skills for. And I think that, as teachers, we need to sort of, open up students' eyes, make them aware that, this isn't just a thing that you learn in isolation and you're going to be a science teacher or a science professor. It's an essential skill that you need for almost any trade or career that you want to work with, because you're going to have to do something that involves STEM at some point.
Yeah.
So I think that's for us. I think the message that we would like to have is that, every teacher needs to consider that, the possibilities are endless. And so, you have to encourage your students to embrace it and get them excited and look at things a little bit differently than we have in the past.
Well said, Natalie. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts to share?
No, just very excited to, coming to the EdTech Summit, and we look forward to meeting with everybody that's going to be there, and really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you about, the stuff that STAO does, and, encourage teachers to come out both to, the EdTech. If you can get away, if AI is your thing, then EdTech is the way to go. Or come out and see us at STAO. You can come out for the 2 days, the 1 day for the Thursday evening. We would love to see you. If you have any questions about STEM education, we're always happy to answer, and we're there for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
With that, thank you so much, Nathalie Rudner, for your work and your team at STAO that you're doing it to empower science teachers across the province. Your leadership and vision are helping shape a brighter future for Ontario learners. We're excited to have STAO as a partner at the Canadian EdTech AI Summit, and we look forward to more at your upcoming STAO 2025 conference. For our viewers and listeners, be sure to check out stao.ca to learn more, and don't miss your chance to engage at their summit, as well as our upcoming AI Summit, October 29th and 30th. Until next time, keep inspiring minds, and remember, when you mind share, we all grow. And until next time, keep the digital learning curve steep.